Hello, welcome to Algorithms. My name is Saurabh. Today we are going to discuss about cloud governance and using a security baseline as one of the principle. If you remember in the last slide deck, we spoke about five different principles in terms of cloud governance, and security baseline was one of that. So today we are going to cover that topic. Okay, so let's get started. I'm not going to go through this as I kept this slide as a refresher so that you know we are talking about the security baseline. Cost management we covered in the previous one, and the next we are going to talk about identity baseline. Okay, so let's get into that. So there are four different areas when it comes to security baseline. So we need to look at the business risk, we need to look at the metrics and indicators, we look at the compliance processes, and we look at the tool chain. So from the business risk perspective, there are two areas that we need to look at: data breach and service disruption. And then in those cases you have to make sure that for instance, if it is data loss, that loss of sensitive cloud hosted data can lead to losing customers or contractual issues or legal consequences and so on and so forth. Okay, and then as a resolution you need to have policy statements enforced. For service disruption, which is outage, you need to clearly specify is for mission critical workloads as well as non mission critical workloads. You have to clearly specify in your policy statements what does it mean, and you have to clearly describe what is the business impact so that you can have that discussion with your vendor. Okay, and outages and other performance issues due to insecure infrastructure interrupt normal operations and can result in loss of productivity and loss of business. Performance issues, I have not seen much unless you have done the right architecture. Means from the capacity planning perspective, if you have under rated the specific area of a specific area of compute or storage, then it's a different story. But most of the time you are okay if you have chosen the right service based upon your application performance. Seasonality is one of the area where I have seen people forget about it, because some applications are very seasonal in nature, that throughout the year the workload the performance is not much required, but certain period of a month or a year, the a peak in the workloads has been observed in the past. So those things have to be configured, and that's where there are so many options available. But how do you configure it, how do you define rules? That has to have a clear understanding of your business application, plus its requirement in terms of concurrent users, IOPS, CPU requirements, so that you can define additional services or like skill sets or availability zones based upon those considerations in case if there is a outage or performance issue. Okay. Now, from the metrics perspective, you have to classify your data. You have to make sure that attack surface means number. Yeah, attack surface. You need to have total number of data sources clearly defined, that how many data sources you have in the organization. Some cases I have seen there is no list. There is a list of application, but there is no list of data sources. So they have list of database systems but not data sources which are consuming from one another. So it is an interconnected network, but there is no list which clearly explains the dependency from one database system to another database system. Okay. Similarly, you have to have services and applications that are cloud hosted and accessible over the internet. So that's very important. So all the applications which are being accessed from the cloud and the data sources, those are the attack surfaces, those are prone to attack. So you have to have a clear listings, as well as how you have defined the security and other architecture definitions as well. Number of unencrypted data sources, overall standards compliance, like ratio of compliance adherence to security standards. Policy and compliance process, it is same as I mentioned in the cost management, but the content will be different. So planning, review and reporting process, ongoing monitoring, violation triggers and enforcement actions. So every time uh, there is a violation or something, some policy or some rule has been violated, then that increases the risk of attack. Okay, so for instance, increase in attacks detected. If any source experiences some percentage increase in brute force or DDoS attacks, discuss with your IT security staff and workload owner to determine how you are going to remediate this, track issues and update guidance if policy revision is necessary. Okay, unclassified data detected. Uh, if you have detected any unclassified data which is not without an appropriate privacy, security or business impact, and it has got external access as well, then you have to make sure that you talk to the relevant folks and data owners, and then appropriate data protection is applied. Network vulnerability, for instance, if you detect any network vulnerability, so access to any resource not explicitly allowed by the network access policies should trigger an alert to IT security staff and relevant workload owner. Okay, so you track issue and update guidance policy if revision is necessary to mitigate the incidents. From the toolchain perspective, I listed all the tools which are available in Azure. So for access controls to resources and resource creation, you have Azure Active Directory. For securing virtual networks, you have Azure Resource Manager. Detecting malicious activity, you have Azure Monitor. Preemptively detect vulnerabilities, you have Azure Security Center. There is one tool as well which is for threat management, Azure Sentinel. That's a separate, I would say, topic, because it is part of a security offering, but it is more of a threat prediction analysis that is being provided by Sentinel, that we can discuss in later presentations. So basically, at a high level, these are the four tools which are being used by different organizations, unless there is a specific requirement in order to manage threat, or they need some sort of threat prediction tools in the toolkit. Okay, from the security perspective. So thank you very much. Have a great day. If you have got any questions, please drop us an email. Leave your comments below. Please subscribe the channel, like it, and leave your feedback as well. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a great day.